Hi, I'm Ann Hayek, and today we're going to talk about self sabotage. And yes, I am talking to you. I think we've all done this at some point, big or small, and some people do it quite a bit. I'm going to talk to you about how do you find out how you're self sabotaging yourself and how do you get past it. So, first thing that people say, I have heard this my whole life. So, we're talking in the dating world, and since conscious of that 30 to 40 years. Okay. This is not new. There are no good ones out there. All the good ones are taken. Well, I guarantee you, if that's what's in your head, then you're never going to meet anybody. You're always thinking the good ones are taken. So the people that you are going to meet aren't going to be the good ones. Your mind makes sure that you get what you're thinking of. It's bizarre, but our minds are powerful. So, like I said, it's not true. This has been said for probably all of eternity. And every new generation or decade, people think that all the good ones are taken. It's not true. You are just not finding the right ones. So, what else do you have in your head that you are self sabotaging yourself with? So, some of the things that people do with this is they think, okay, every man is selfish, every woman is selfish. Nobody has a good family. They all hate their families. Nobody has a good job. I mean, whatever it is that you put in your head, that's what you're going to meet. I promise you. And so, or you're going to meet, I never meet any men who are respectful and who are chivalrous. Well, guess what? You're not going to meet any when you have like that, when you have that thought in your head. You have to get over that. And you have to tell yourself whether you do affirmations. There are great men out there. There are great women out there. There are people who love and get along with their families. Whatever is important to you, you have got to start thinking the opposite. So you need to realize where these places are that you are self sabotaging yourself. And do you think you're better than everybody? That's another one. People have this, some people can get this thought in their head like, "Oh, oh, they're not so good or they're never good enough or for whatever reason. And people, you need to get over that too if that's how you're feeling, because then you're putting yourself on the high horse. And yes, you are a child of God. You are fabulous, but so is everybody out there. You just need to meet the right ones that fit you. So what I did whenever I would have any thoughts or things like this is I would start journaling to realize in myself, what are these things that I'm thinking I might have in my head, and how do I get over that? And writing it out is often good, and just getting your thoughts out on paper. Also, if you're not sure, you can ask your friends and family. I'm sure they'll very quickly tell you that you do this or you think this, and you cannot say these things out loud anymore. If you're doing it now, you cannot say all the good ones are taken or whatever your hangup is. You have to stop saying it as well. So catch yourself and replace it with an affirmative, a positive of it. Like, there are great men out there. There are great women out there. Whatever your thoughts are, there are people with great families. And it can feel so awkward going on a date. What I used to think sometimes when I would be on a date is, okay, who's the alien here? Me or them? Because this is not a match. And it's amazing how many people you don't match with, and it feels that way. Like you're just on completely different planets. And it doesn't mean that there's something necessarily wrong with either of you. It just is, it's amazing that people match up and get together, but they obviously do. Another thing that people do in this self sabotaging category is they think, I'm too fat, I'm too short, I'm too tall, I'm too thin. Nobody likes my hair color. Nobody likes that. We get these ideas in our minds that aren't true, and we hold ourselves back for them. And when they are the first thing in our mind is what's wrong with us or what we think is wrong, I mean, we're all flawed and human, but these things are goofy. You can't say, oh, when I gain 5 pounds, then I'll be attractive. When I lose 5 pounds, then I'll be attractive. You need to accept yourself right now for who you are and what you look like and everything else that's not right with you, because we're human and we are not perfect. Those things also hold us back. And when we hold those in our minds, you've got that self-consciousness of like, oh my gosh, are they going to notice that my nose is too big or it's too small or it's a little crooked or whatever. You have to let go of those things. And whether you need to journal or go to confession or however you need to work through those things, you need to get through them. I guarantee you that you have friends. And I guarantee you those friends love you and they don't care if you're too fat or too thin or too tall or too short or your hair is brown or red or blonde or whatever. They love you as you are and your family loves you. And they are not the only people that are going to love you as you are. You need to love you as you are. And of course, work on your flaws of person. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do our whole lives, right? We're trying to improve ourselves, but we are not perfect and we're never going to be perfect. And so you have to let go of that perfection and not put yourself down or think poorly of yourself. And if you look around you, you will see that the people that are married are fat, are thin, are tall, are short, have every different hair color. Sometimes their noses are crooked. Some are very attractive. Some are not attractive. And they still got married. And this has been true for all of eternity. So you have to get those things out of your mind of holding yourself back that, if you're hung up on they won't like me because you're self-sabotaging. And then if you're doing the same thing where they've got to be perfect, everybody has got, they're human. Nobody is perfect. And so you need to evaluate that the qualities you're looking for are real and true qualities, not like, oh, they don't put their pinky up when they drink coffee or tea, so they're out. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? And sometimes we get some of that ridiculousness in our list. So it is good to really think about, okay, so if this is the greatest person I met, but they don't put their pinky up, does that cross them off? I hope that you can see when you have maybe some of these things that are on your list that really shouldn't be, and ones that should be, such as, you know, he doesn't talk very nicely about his mom or his whole family or his friends or whatever it is. Or, she's always staring in the mirror constantly. Well, those are some things that are bigger, that it's like, what is the issue here? And maybe I don't want to be with that versus, I mean, just, I'm sorry for a goofy sake, they don't put their finger up when they drink coffee or tea, or maybe they do put their finger up and you don't like that, whatever. I mean, that's still a goofy thing. So you need to evaluate what are those things that are holding you back, what is in your head. And I'm telling you, journaling is a great way to do that, to just put it all down, figure it out, and work through it. Talk to your friends and get some of their advice. Where are you being too picky, if that's the case, on things that are not important? And where should those things be? What qualities should you be focusing on? I mean, and if you start with 5 things, that's plenty. And then, you just add from there. Maybe you're going to have as detailed of a list as I did, and maybe you won't. And that's fine. You're getting to know yourself. You're getting to know what really works with you, with your personality type, the types of people that you want to be around, and having that in the forefront of your head. So that is your homework for today. I want you to work on that and think about that. Ask the people around you, where am I doing this to myself? Where, and they might say, you always talk negatively about yourself in this way. Now, we all have faults. I am not organized. I struggle so hard. I do my best, but I'm not a born organized person. But I'm not going to go around and say, oh, I'm so horrible. I can't, it takes so much time for me to be organized, or, really berate myself about it. It's one thing to acknowledge a fault, another thing to berate yourself or somebody else. So think about those things. And another thing, just on that note, Don't be quick to berate other people either and point out their flaws unless you want them to point out yours. And I don't really care for either. I know enough of my own flaws without people just randomly pointing them out or something. So be realistic in your own flaws, in that whoever you meet is going to have flaws, and it's the quality of person that's important. So maybe they're disorganized. I hope that's not a deal breaker. I mean, that is not a quality of person. That's not, a great person can be disorganized and a great person can be organized. Now, if you get to sleeping with the enemy organized, okay, we got a little bit of an issue there. Or hoarder house where, you're terrified to walk in and it's gross and disgusting. Okay, that's one thing. Hoarder, you can put sleeping with the enemy organized, you can put on your list, actually do the opposite. But, and maybe you are so disorganized, it's a challenge for you, and maybe you really want help with that. Maybe you put on your list that I would like somebody that's more organized than I am. And maybe that's not a super high on the list option, but maybe you put it out there. There are some things that are, you're going to have little categories of what's really important versus the kind of, well, this would be a nice to have. So I hope that helps you today. Remember to like, subscribe, and stick around for more topics. There are many more to come. I'm Ann Hayek. Have a great day.